1,000 people may have died in the devastating cyclone that tore through Myanmar. A U.S. diplomat working in a secretive country says he is getting information that many more have died than what official figures suggest. These are exclusive pictures Al Jazeera has filmed in the worst-hit region of Myanmar.
Let's have a look at the scale of the damage in more detail. The United Nations estimates that before Cyclone Nargis struck, around 1.75 million people lived in the worst-hit areas. Low-lying coastal areas, including the Irrawaddy Delta region, bore the brunt of the cyclone. Ogale, with a population of 180,000 before Nargis hit, has been almost totally destroyed. We understand at least 10,000 people are believed to have died there, and the neighbouring towns of Pierpont, with 130,000 people, and Laputa, with 210,000, also suffered major damage. Did environmental problems within Myanmar contribute to the disaster? We're joined by meteorologist Jeff Masters from Detroit in Michigan. Is there a sense that the devastation is a lot worse than it may have been?
Yeah, the mangroves that used to be on the coast there would have absorbed some of the storm surge that caused the great majority of the deaths that occurred in the cyclone. Now, the mangroves both knocked down the elevation of the surge and reduced the wave action on top.
Why were the mangroves removed?
Well, they were removed to convert it to agriculture and for making shrimp farms there by the coast.
So presumably this is a widespread practice, isn't it? I mean, this is happening in many low-lying areas in the region.
Well, absolutely, except in Bangladesh, where they've gone and converted their mangroves back to being just that, so they can absorb some of the impact of storm surges, which are common in the Bay of Bengal there.
Other than Bangladesh, though, is there a recognition of the potential for danger as mangrove groves are being removed?
Well, absolutely. For instance, in Louisiana, which was hard hit by Hurricane Katrina, the loss of these mangroves has allowed the storm surge to rise much higher than it would have. So there's talk of trying to restore the mangroves there in Louisiana.
But what about in Asia and in poorer countries where perhaps economic considerations are outweighing long-term environmental consequences?
Well, with the population exploding so fast in Asia, there's great pressure to put land into agriculture and take out the mangroves. So I don't think you're seeing as great a return of the mangroves as you would have otherwise.
What about the long-term environmental consequences of the sort of devastation we're seeing?
Well, you lose a lot of the mangroves in these kind of episodes. Up to half of them sometimes can be killed right there at the coast. So they will regenerate, but it'll take about 10 years or so for the mangroves to come back.
And the impact on agricultural production and so on?
Well, you're getting a lot of salt now onto the fields that grow a lot of the rice in this area, and it's going to take time for that salt to leach out and that soil to return to its normal ability to grow. I'm not sure how long that'll take, but probably you won't see the land return to full productivity until next year.
You're a meteorologist. Whenever we see major weather factors like this particular cyclone and the storm surge and so on, some people are questioning whether we're seeing them more frequently or not, whether there are other factors involved, global warming and climate change and so on. Are there any of those factors relevant in a situation like this?
Well, in the Atlantic, there's some thought that the storms might be getting more intense due to global warming. But in the other ocean basins, including the Indian Ocean, there's currently no evidence that would support that these storms are getting stronger or more frequent due to global warming.
Jeff Masters, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Let's move on to some other news now. A mass protest by Hezbollah supporters in Beirut